her opening remarks. You have the floor.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. And it is an honor to work with you. And welcome, Mr. Secretary. And I hope you're going to find this is a very thoughtful committee, both sides of the aisle. And I like your mission for us to work together. Okay. So, you know, you and I and Chairman Diaz-Balart, we go way back to our time in the Florida legislature. And I was very happy to join you at your welcoming ceremony when you came into the State Department. I thought your speech was inspiring. Thank you for that. But today I come with a deep sense of alarm, and not to be personal in any way, because I have a serious disagreement with some of the policy. With so many conflicts around the world, we're at a crisis point in Americans' foreign policy and humanitarian leadership. The progress of this country under both Republican and Democratic administrations has built over decades, is now being dismantled recklessly, needlessly, and dangerously. And I say, why should Americans care? And the answer is simple. Foreign assistance is a strategic investment. It costs less, it has cost less than 1% of our federal budget, yet delivers enormous returns for our national security, our economic competitiveness, our health, and our global standing. I don't know if you know this, but my son, Ben, was both an officer in the United States Marine, an artillery officer. He served all over the country, including Afghanistan and Iraq, and then he went back and served in USAID, also around the world. And he agrees with many military experts who will tell you that investing in soft power means less spending on weapons of war and less brave soldiers coming home in body bags. USAID, our nation's premier development agency, has been central to this strategy. It has helped prevent violent extremism through education, stopped deadly pandemics before they reached our shores, and delivered American-grown food to the world's most desperate corners. And yet, under this administration, we are witnessing Elon Musk's chainsaw taken to the entire system, while taking away food security, healthcare, and economic opportunities away from the poorest people in the world. Republicans are sadly focused on giving tax cuts to billionaires. My. I know my committee often hears me say that. My. The richest man in the world, not you, Mr. Musk, killing the poorest children in the world. President Trump's January 12th executive order launched what was called a review of foreign assistance, and it's hard to believe that a responsible review was done in such a short time. It became a chaotic freeze and termination of over 80% of foreign aid programs, more than 5,200 across 100 countries, without consultation with Congress, without public criteria, and without a plan, just canceled. Let's talk what this actually meant on the ground. Just some examples. Millions of people in the world left starving, including in Nepal. A critical nutrition program serving over 1 million women and children were canceled overnight, leaving no transition, no staff, no delivery mechanism. And the government has now stopped purchasing therapeutic food because there's no one to distribute it. Education for 40 million children around the world was halted, including education and work opportunities in Central America aimed at preventing violence in communities and making people less likely to migrate, undermining United States immigration goals. And in April, we heard from a PEPFAR implementer who told this committee that HIV testing programs were cut, even while prevention services were still technically funded. It was impossible for pregnant women to know they even needed care. And that itself is projected to add 26 million new infections in just a few years. And although these programs were lawfully appropriated and competitively awarded and underway, yet Congress was not consulted. And this is also, which was just so sad, thousands of hardworking Americans and foreign partners who were sent on a mission by us had their lives turned upside down in minutes. Implementing partners were left in the dark. Embassies had no answers. The so-called life-saving waivers were announced with fanfare, not funfair, fanfare, but with no process. So instead of building allies, we're leaving vacuums. And what happens when the rest of the world is hungry, illiterate, agitated, and afraid for their future? They turn to whoever is offering help, whether that is China or an armed terrorist group. China is conducting development projects all over the world, and in Cambodia, just 1 week after we canceled maternal and child health programs, Chinese officials announced nearly identical efforts. And let's not forget what happens when disenfranchised men turn to ISIS or Al-Qaeda. And here at home, the fallout continues. Florida farmers, actually all our farmers around the country, have lost international food contracts. U.S. university research labs have gone dark. Nonprofits in our communities have had to lay off workers. Data shared just recently reported that in European business bookings in April, it's down 26% because of the message that we are sending to other countries. We all want efficiency, and we all want accountability, but a serious government doesn't throw Humpty Dumpty off a wall and hope we can put him back together again, which is what we are afraid of here. The haphazard and chaotic way, it just makes waste, fraud, and abuse more likely, and it's actually reported in our USAID and State Inspector Generals in a report. And Mr. Chairman, I ask consent to enter into the record 2 recent reports by the State Department and USAID Office of Inspector Generals highlighting the complexity and changes needed to successfully integrate humanitarian, global health, and development assistance into the State Department.
So done without objection.
Thank you. Mr. Secretary, you mentioned in your, we have a typewritten statement that you made, and there is a mention of what looks like a $20 billion rescission. I'm not sure whether that's a take back from the 25 budget or the 26, but I could tell you this, to me it's a no-go. And I do have an ask, and it's very respectful, and I want to say this again. The people on this committee, we got on this committee because we believe in the value of foreign assistance. And I think every one of us wants to work with you. And this is a thoughtful group of people. So I am just respectfully suggesting this, that you hold off on these staff and program reductions immediately and develop with us a plan to go forward, because I think if we work together, we can make our country safer, stronger, and more prosperous. Thank you, and I yield back.